Let's talk about the stock Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. Now, the question that's probably on your mind is, with the recent run up, am I late to the party or am I able to buy Tesla? If you haven't been paying attention to Tesla, it's increased about 25% over the last 10 trading days and has went as high as $260 a share. Now, I did a podcast and a YouTube video about being late or earlier on time to the stock market party. I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description, or you can click the card somewhere around here and take a look at that. But I think Tesla is a great example to explain, should you be considering buying it right now, or should you wait because you might be a little bit late to the party? So let's talk about first what's moved the stock up. So Tesla announced that their deliveries surpassed expectations. So they shipped 444,000 vehicles. The forecast was 438,000 vehicles. So they basically shipped about 2,000 more vehicles than Wall Street analysts expected. So that sent the stock running higher. Now, to our members inside Power Trades University, one of the things that we broke down about the stock is, when you think about interest rates, we're getting closer to the end. We've already stopped hiking interest rates. We're getting close to where we're going to potentially start to cut interest rates. Well, the market is forward thinking. And so the market is saying, okay, people who buy these types of cars typically finance them, or almost any car. Most people finance them. So if interest rates comes down, then car sales should ideally go up because more people will be able to finance them and afford them. So if Tesla can beat its delivery numbers in a high inflation environment, in a high interest rate environment, I think the market is getting ahead saying, okay, what can the company do as inflation comes down, which means higher profitability? And number two, as interest rates comes down, more people buying the cars. And then number three, although they didn't report how many Cybertruck numbers that they sold, the reality is Cybertrucks are selling, and that's a whole new category for Tesla to be able to pull revenue from, or pull sales from, that may be taken from Ford, GM, and other truck manufacturers that can contribute to Tesla's numbers. So when you put all that together, it's no wonder, I should say, why the stock rallied. So let's take a look at the technical analysis of the chart and talk about, is it time to buy? Are you late to the party? Or do you just stay long for the ride? So here we got the chart of Tesla pulled up. You can see the breakout back here kind of failed. So the stock tried to break out, could not make it, ran up, not quite to it, could not make it, ran up again, could not break through. And so we finally have this, and you could actually lower this down to more so about that area, and you'll see it where it makes a little bit more sense, where it's like, okay, couldn't break through, couldn't break through, couldn't break through. We finally got this breakout right here, and then they released delivery numbers, I think somewhere in here, well ahead of earnings, and then the stock just took off. So if you're thinking, can I buy the stock? You could, but one thing I'd be cautious of, well, before I tell you what I'd be cautious of, let's zoom out. Does Tesla have more room to run? That's the first question you should be asking yourself. So yes, it could run up to about 406 or 407. So from that standpoint, it's still another 150 points minimum that the stock can move up. Now, if you zoom in though, there's levels that Tesla's gonna have to break through before it can get up there though. And one of those levels is kind of right in here. You can see, let's zoom in and make this a little bit bigger. So you can see in this area right here, kind of broke through for a minute, but couldn't hold, couldn't break through again, couldn't pass through again, couldn't pass through. And we're getting right up near that area, about 272, but most of the move has been made all the way up to 260, and the stock is starting to lose steam. Now, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're like, well, what do you mean it's starting to lose steam? Well, let me give you a few things to pay attention to. Number one, this was the first day that we didn't have such a huge candlestick like we had this day, and that day. Number two, we moved up higher this day, but this is the first day that we got a long wick. So first day that we couldn't get a big body candlestick of buying. Then this day we moved up and you can see people sold off into that rally, creating a long wick. The other thing you want to pay attention to, and that we teach our traders to look at, is the volume. Notice the volume is declining. So if volume is declining, that tells you less and less people are willing to buy it at higher and higher prices. So each day that the volume is declining, less and less people are willing to pay a higher price for it. And so I think all of those reasons add up to me that you want to be patient with Tesla. Now, if you're an investor and you're like, hey, I'm holding this thing until we get back up to 400, that's a different story. I think you hang on for the ride. Tesla's a car company of the future. It's a technology company of the future. Electric cars aren't going anywhere. We're going to need electric cars. We're going to continue to drive and buy and build out the grid for electric cars. Autonomous cars is coming at some point down the road. So if you're an investor, I think you hold on. If you're a trader, though, back to the chart, I think you wait until we get some type of a pullback. Now, where would I feel comfortable of Tesla pulling back to? I would say if Tesla could pull back to the 10-day moving average or trade sideways and just give that 10-day moving average time to catch up. So whether that's the stock pulling back to the 10-day moving average or the stock trading sideways to catch up to the 10-day moving average, kind of building a base or a flag pattern, consolidation before the stock gets ready to take off again, then I would feel more comfortable buying the stock. So I need either scenario one, pull back to the 10-day moving average, scenario two, the stock to consolidate, kind of like it consolidated here. You can see it just kind of consolidated sideways and it finally took off the 10-day moving average. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe the stock consolidates sideways, gives the 10-day moving average time to catch up, and then it takes off. Those are the two scenarios that I need to see as a trader before I jump back into Tesla. But as an investor, if you're looking at the long-term horizon, I mean, hey, jump along for the ride and consider maybe incrementally adding to your positions as it goes higher or incrementally adding to your position as the stock pulls back. But one thing's for sure, you can't count Elon Musk out. You can't count Tesla out. These guys somehow find a way to pull a rabbit out of the hat and beat delivery numbers, and they most likely will beat earnings. And I'm telling you, as interest rates comes down, I think the stock goes higher. Let me know in the comments, do you own the stock? Are you a long-term investor or are you just trading the stock? Did you catch this big move? I want to hear from you in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.